Today's Friday morning. Give you guys another YouTube video classic. Now this one's gonna probably be exclusively on my YouTube channel that doesn't have too many videos, because the other one, that's my secondary channel, I want it to be for the big major stuff. I want it to be for movie reviews and sports, and for the more bigger content. I have a new series that's going to be coming that's going to be called Sex Talk or Sex Game, Man versus Woman Battle of the Sexes, and I'm going to put it on that channel and then onto the other channel, on the reserve channel. But stuff that's like an instant repeat, we'll just put it on the reserve channel. Now this one's going to be called Sex on Halloween Part 2. And in the description, I'm going to call it Why Men Love Sluts. Now, you see what just happened to Stephen Curry, right? You see what happened to this basketball player, right? You know, he's a 3-time NBA champion. He's gone to the NBA Finals 4 years in a row. And he's about to, on record, go to the NBA Finals for the 5th time. All you got to do is beat the Houston Rockets and get to the 3rd round, and then they'll be back in the finals again and a chance to win another NBA championship, which I'm going to have to make a complete separated video on that altogether, on what I think he should do and he should not do with this woman. But since the subject just keeps arriving on the internet, I guess I got to make a video for the rest of y'all so you don't end up in his predicament. Now, last year I made a video it kind of went viral, but I wish it would have got more retraction. I wish it got more views. So I guess I'll call it Sex on Halloween Part 2. I know some of my subscribers and viewers are going to say, dude, it's not even October for you to make a video called Sex on Halloween Part 2. But it's a video that's from last year, so I can actually make a sequel to it and put it on my reserve channel. Now, Sex on Halloween is a day where women can be sluts. Women can do pretty much whatever they want, when they want, and how they want. You ever seen that movie called Hall Pass, where the ladies give their husband 7 days to be Miss Promiscuous and have sex with any woman, and when the 7 days is over with, they have to come back to their life with their wife, but their wife also went out and had sex with other men while they had a 7-day pass? Well, a slut pass is just like a hall pass, except for it only lasts 3 days, and it leads up to Halloween. And this is something that's universal. See, the reason why a lot of men who go to swinger clubs with their wives never worry about my wife's gonna cheat is because the man gets to pick and determine which man can have sex with his wife and which man can't. And during Halloween night, you know what they say, right? The freaks come out of night. Now, the men who have sex with women that are high-end prostitutes, porn actresses, and strippers, those men never come to work sexually frustrated. Like, in fact, those men have a great success record of performing at a high level at their job. Why, the guy who's sexually frustrated and he goes 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year for 5 years, or 10 years, or 20 years, not smashing no ass, he suffers from a mental illness. See, on the news, they don't want to tell you that 80% of men suffer from some form of a mental psychosis. That means you'll see a man walk up the street or down the street talking to himself for no apparent reason, and it don't matter if it's a black man, a white man, a Mexican, or an Asian man, for whatever reasons, explained or not explained, he starts talking to himself. And part of it is he's sexually frustrated because he lives in a society where we got feminism, we got the Me Too, and you get hit with sexual harassment charges, you can lose your job or your career, and it could take you 10 to 15 years before somebody look at your employment and give you an opportunity. And sometimes you don't even get an opportunity if 10 or 15 years went by. Ain't no one's gonna call you for no job. So a slut pass is where a man looks at his wife or looks at his girlfriend and basically let her has 3 days to herself to be a slut. That means this is the one time men do not judge women for being Miss Pericles. That means a girl could put on too much lipstick, too much makeup. She ain't gotta wear no panties and no bra. Her breast could be out, her ass could be out. She can get as many tattoos and piercings as she wants and be as slutty as she wants. And because it's fast approaching the month of October, most men are not going to open their mouth and say, oh my gosh, she's a whore, she's a slut, because it's getting close to Halloween. That's the one time men don't care if a woman's got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 tattoos, because they see an opportunity to get laid. So when they go to these Halloween parties, there be a lot of sex at these Halloween parties. You know, you'll catch guys and a girl having sex in the water pool. They'll be having sex on top of the table, butt naked with no clothes. And sometimes these Halloween parties can become extremely crazy. That means you could be having sex butt naked on the table, and somebody could be drunk on alcohol with a camera filming you having sex with a girl on the table that you don't even know. A lot of the colleges, they throw Halloween parties, and a lot of times you could be at work and you got this one guy who works every single day and all he does is play video games, and you be trying to get him to, man up, accept his masculinity, and you take him to a Halloween party. And you see what goes on at Halloween parties is stuff that gets talked about in books, but it gets depicted in movies and television shows. You'll get a man that'll have sex with a woman that's 300 pounds, 400 pounds, dressed up as Catwoman. So it'll be a guy having sex with Catwoman, but she's fat Catwoman. There'll be a man having sex outside in the middle of the street, messed up on crystal meth. You get guys and a girl, they sneak on top of the roof of a building and they start having sex on top of the roof. And then there are guys who will steal, and I mean this, there are guys who will steal either a fire truck or a police car on Halloween night and have sex with the girl in the car, and then their best friends will take out a camera and record the whole thing. And then, the police get mad because you stole a police car. And you get browning points, but then the cop be like, you gonna steal a police car. Then you get the guys who steal a fire truck. And they steal the fire truck and they bring it to the house party, and they basically turn the water hose on and start wetting up the cars of the people in the neighborhood that they don't like as a big ass Halloween prank. So a lot of guys will steal police cars and have sex with a girl in the police car, because a girl will go and say, my sexual fantasy is I want to screw in the police car. So then that man gets 3 other guys and they steal a police car, and then next thing you know, you see a man and a girl having sex in the police car. Or he'll steal a fire truck because the girl has this crazy obsession of I want to get freaked on top of a fire truck. So the guy will steal the fire truck. Then there are guys who will disguise themselves or impersonate a police officer and accidentally shake down a girl and basically, have sex with her. And she'll be drunk and he'll know she's drunk and he'll take an advantage of it, which, like I said, that can lead to you getting into a lot of shit. But that happens on Halloween parties. Then you got the ones where they know that's their best friend's girlfriend and she's super drunk. And he goes, well, it's not like anybody else is giving me a chance to smash, so why the hell not? And he'll take advantage. And then you got the ones where they break into the classroom in school. They break into school and they have sex in the hallway, or they break into a classroom, or they'll go as far as to do it in the auditorium. And somehow, some way, somebody has a camera and somebody records all of this for blackmail purposes. Then you got the one where they'll steal some cocaine or some crystal meth, and I've never seen it, but I've heard stories of it, and I'm trying to keep it as PG as I possibly can for YouTube. But there are stories where guys will take some cocaine and put it on the girl's butt and then sniff the cocaine off the girl's butt. Then there are guys who will take the cocaine and put it on her breast and snort the cocaine off her breast. Just to show the girl he ain't no punk. Just to show the girl he knows how to have fun and he not a boring person. This goes on at Halloween parties. Then you got the ones where people dress up in Halloween costumes and pretend they're their favorite characters. Like you can get a guy dressed up as Batman and he'll fix his car up to look like the Batmobile. And you'll see a guy dressed up as Batman trying to mess with Harley Quinn, Poison Ivy, and anyone else he thinks of. And you see when it comes to Halloween, there's one rule. There are no rules when it comes to Halloween. You could walk into a nightclub at complete random and accidentally hit on a woman who's in her 40s or 50s, and you'll be having sex with someone old enough to be your mother or grandmother. And she'll blow your load. And you'll wake up the next morning with a hangover and look beside you, you see a 40 or 50-year-old woman. And you don't know how she got there. But one thing got fixed. You got laid. And you see, this is the one time men don't really seem to mind if the girl's a slut. You know, she could, like I said, she could have 5 tattoos, 10, 15. She could have 10 tattoos. She can have as far as 13 or 14 tattoos. And a bunch of body piercings with red hair or pink hair or blue hair. The girl could cut all her hair off and be bald-headed, and the man will still smash. Basically, on Halloween night, you can smash any woman and won't nobody really care about it because it's Halloween. So the days leading up to Halloween, a man will give his wife or girlfriend a slut pass, where you get 3 days to be a slut. You know, it gets to Halloween, all women dress up as sluts. And you see what's so good about Halloween that it opens up the door for opportunities. You know, there's makeup sex, there's breakup sex on Halloween, there's one-night stands, there's friends with benefits, there's revenge sex. All of that takes place on Halloween. And the good thing about Halloween is when you go to the nightclubs and the bars, you're going to run into people that you went to high school and college and you ain't seen them in 10 years. And then guess what? You score. And then, you know, you have, what is it? I think somebody got arrested in another city, in another state, I think 10 years ago for stealing a military Jeep. They tried to pretend that they were a soldier because a girl had a fascination with, you know, wanting to have sex with a soldier. He wasn't trying to steal a Jeep. He wanted to steal a tank. And you know those college movies where the guy is always stealing some vehicle that doesn't belong to him? Well, you got one guy who stole a military tank 10 years ago. And, you know, he's serving like a long prison sentence for stealing a military tank. He stole the military tank, and you know exactly what he did with the girl in the military tank. They had sex, and he found himself, I think they charged him, I think they wanted to give him 20 years in federal prison, but because his dad's rich, of course, you know, they reduced the sentence in half and say he can get out in 10 years. But he's supposed to serve a 20-year prison sentence, but that was 10 years ago. And then they changed the story up to where, you know, he not only he has to go to prison, he had to do a bunch of hours of community service. And then he had to enlist in the military for what he done. So he got a lot of punishment, but he stole a military tank so he could show the girl he ain't no punk. Then you have the guys who will break into a liquor store. This one's original. This one's from the 70s, the 80s, and the 90s. They'll break into a liquor store and have sex in the liquor store knowing they're on surveillance camera for the whole world to watch. Like, they'll do some pretty risky things just to prove to a girl they're not no punk. Having sex in the cemetery, some people might say, come on, man, respect the dead. But when you mess with them golf girls, or you mess with a girl that's drunk and she want to know if you're a man or a punk, a lot of guys will do that just to show the girl I ain't no punk. And then, you know, the night janitor, or the police might drive in the area and catch you in the cemetery, yeah, you're going to go to jail for the night. And then you wake up the next morning and the cop be like, so was it worth it? Was it worth disrespecting the dead? Because now I'm going to give you five days in jail. I'm going to put you in front of a judge, and then the judge is going to sentence you some more days in jail. You know, you got laid, but the girl don't get in trouble. You get in trouble. Then you have the guys who, for whatever reasons, and I can't explain this, he'll do what they call strip poker. That happens on Halloween. You know, whoever loses got to strip their clothes off by doing strip poker. And somebody records it. And then and then this one's classic. This is so 2001. They'll take a gas pump. I mean, literally a gas oil pump with some alcohol and play this game called How Much You Can Drink and How Much You Can Fill Up in Your Lungs. And I think if you lose, they might actually take out some they might force you to either drink some hard liquor, or they might make you get on your hands and knees and walk around like an animal. And a lot of times if you lose, then the girl gets to take the dog chain and put her around your neck, and then for humiliation, they will, you know what I mean. They'll go as far as to record it. And then they'll mass produce that and send that to everyone the next day in college or at work. And people will be like, oh my God, this guy got punked. And then you have the guys that are so sexually frustrated that they spend all this time at work and they're always around their nagging ass one female boss. And then the boss, because she ain't getting none, she starts to demand stuff from him. And then ended up one of these guys ended up banging the boss, but that's only on Halloween. You get 3 days, and then when the 3 days are over with, it's over. You know, everything returns back to normal. You know, and when these girls do it, you know, no man judges because they want to get laid. And a lot of times people will say, but she's a slut. And the guy won't say anything because he doesn't want to kill or destroy his chances of getting laid. Because if it's hard for him to get laid when it's not Halloween, and he sees that it's a better opportunity, he takes advantage of Halloween. But I'm just trying to tell you what happens on Halloween. So yeah, the freaks do come out on night on Halloween. So that's my video. Sex on Halloween. Till then, peace.